Back again. Hello, people. Yeah, we're back again. This is, do you know what I keep saying? It's Pops Reacts, isn't it? But really, it's a Muslim and an atheist break bread. So we're back, and today we're going to be reacting to feminist questions, Muslims. And I guess I wanted to do this because a lot of the pushback with Islam and this religion in particular is the treatment of women. When really, I think a lot of people don't know the truths of what's been said about how women are treated within their religion, from my personal opinion. Yeah, you ready to rock?
Yeah, man, let's go.
Come then, let's have a look.
In Arabic. So if there's a group of men and women, it's hum.
Yeah.
If there's a group of females, it's hunna.
Uh-huh.
If there's a group of majority females, it's hunna. It's like, you know, they. Yeah?
And there's a group of only men.
Only men, there is no, that's the thing. You could argue that there is no specific, like here, hum is men and women. And it's only men as well. Whereas you have two pronouns that can be...
It's the same as Spanish.
No, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Spanish speaker.
It's the same as Spanish.
Yeah. So you can't really argue this. Let me say why, right?
Why not?
Because let me give you one verse in the Quran, yeah? It says in Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter 33 of the Quran, مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٍ. From, and the word here is mu'mineen, the believers. The believers are men. From the believers are men.
Mankind.
Yeah, now, mu'minina is in the hum form. Hum refers to both men and women. This is the proof of it, yeah? And here is extrapolating the mena of the group of men and women. Do you get it? The point is, you could argue that hum refers to either all men and or men and women, whereas hunna refers to only all women. So there are two pronouns.
You don't have a word.
But there are two pronouns in Arabic that refer to women and only one that refer to men.
No, but that's because the word for men is all inclusive. It's the same way in Spanish. It's that the men if there's one man, the group is considered all men. That's the point.
No, that's not how it is in Arabic. Say for example, if you've got majority women.
Do you know what he's trying to explain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, enlighten me, because I was struggling.
It's like tenses, and tenses of a word.
Okay.
The way you use the tenses in a word. So I am, I will be.
Yeah, like past tense,
so
present.
in this instance, the word huna is, and hun is like assalamu alaikum. Kum is everybody. But it could be hun, it could be one of the other tenses, meaning this group of, a slightly different meaning on each one.
Yeah.
So they're just distinguishing between a word used, but before they've got into it, they're having the debate about the word, which if you don't know, like you, doesn't really mean anything. But
Okay.
they're going to get to what they're actually talking about eventually, I guess. He's just reading the verse now.
Okay. Right, let's have a look.
And you have one man, then really this is a group of females. Majority is females.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So if you have a group of people and there were 100 women there and there's one man,
Yes.
which pronoun do you use? The
If
one
there's
for
100
men and women.
If there was 100, no, you'd use the one for females.
Okay.
Because it would confuse the people.
You'd say hunna.
You would say hunna because it's majority females, and it would confuse people. Yeah, because it's 100 women is a lot. Anyways, going back to what we were talking about.
We got sidetracked down to language.
Yes. By the way, there's some interesting.
I was much more comfortable with the philosophy argument.
Yeah. Going back.
Religion.
No, but it's good. Do you know something else interestingly? Yeah. You can use something.
I can or we can.
No, in Arabic.
Pronouns are very important, don't you think?
Why do you think they're important?
Because when you're speaking to me and you say you can do this and you can do that, it feels accusatory in a way, and it's something that we can all do. And I feel like you're speaking to the crowd, not just to me.
But I'm talking to you. Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So, in a nutshell, the reasons I can't tell you all the reasons. For example, the hijab is mentioned in the Quran. Why the hijab is prescribed?
I thought it wasn't.
No, the hijab, that particular, it says فَلَا يُؤْذَيْنَ. So the reason why, one of the reasons behind it is so that women don't get exploited by men.
But
One of the
why
reasons
wouldn't
behind
we
it.
focus on the men exploiting?
We are as well, because there's a whole injunction for men to lower their gaze. And so there's another injunction for women to protect themselves, in a sense.
But But if men are lowering their gaze, then why would women have to?
They're not. That's the problem. We're not lowering our gaze.
And why is it that like women wouldn't be attracted to men and look at men in a sexual way the same
Well,
way?
that's the thing. We go back to our biology, psychology, and physiology. We're saying that we're different. Men and women are fundamentally. Pardon?
I have a libido.
Yes, but it's not the same.
Libido.
It's not the same as the man's libido. Whatever you want to do, it's not going to be the same.
That's a very
This is the
general
bit where I think we
statement.
need to start.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying.
It's a very
I'm not
general
saying.
statement.
I'm not saying it's less.
First of all, I believe that to be true
What?
about libido, women and men. I think what he's trying to say is, yeah, women can have libido, but I feel like a man can be more destructive with his, as in he can have physical dominance over a woman. So if his libido is too much, do you get what I'm saying? No. So basically, men are physically stronger than women, ain't it?
What's that got to do with libido?
Because the difference is, if I've got a libido as a woman,
Isn't it just how
There's-
much you want it?
yeah, but it's the same thing, isn't it? But it's not, because I could want it to a point where I'm gonna do anything to get it, and if I'm a man and I'm gonna do anything to get it,
Women do that too.
but not physically. A woman ain't gonna ever be able to harm me because of her libido. But a man can to a woman, and that's the whole point. That's why a woman wears a hijab, to protect herself, and a man lowers his gaze because he knows that his libido is more destructive.
What do you mean? His libido is the
It's just more destructive than a woman's. I'm saying,
libido
unchecked.
is your desire, and it kind of
Exactly. So a man's
right.
desire.
So some people, spend a lot of time copulating,
Mm-hmm.
whereas some people don't. So marriage is every day, morning and night ritual for years and years. Some people need to have 10 women to try and feel satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
So libido is the size of to what point your satisfaction is achieved. So, like me say, a man who's doing 10 girls every day, 10 different girls,
Has a
is considered to have a high
big libido. Yeah, exactly.
Whereas the man who's living honestly at home with his girl and giving her all the emotional and everything she needs, so it's not as physical. It may or may not.
I was
be,
going to
but
say,
it
you can
doesn't
still
have
have
to
a
be.
high libido, but I think in the terms of this, and when they're relating it to the Quran and why women wear hijabs, it's about the sense of that men are more predatory than women. In
Men are
essence.
rapists. I don't know what was libido. You're confusing the thing, man. Yo, right. Men, and, the way it sounds is, right, women, I'm not going to say men are predatory. Women are more vulnerable. In every society, men protect women.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
That's the
unless
right way
you're
to say it.
Amazons or something extra.
Yeah.
So generally, women are the more vulnerable of the pair, and society performs in a certain way. Same in an Arab country. In an Arab country, they used to bury their daughters.
What do you mean?
Now, Arabs used to bury their daughters until Islam. The first thing Islam stopped was Arabs burying their daughter. When they had a girl, they buried it.
Oh, you mean because they want boys? Yeah,
They want boys.
yeah. I see what
So
you're saying.
first thing Islam did was to stop that, So this is what I say. The libido thing and the way a woman is perceived within that society. The old Arabs, in contrast with the Arab nation. The Arab nation has a genuine set of policies and behaviors which came with Islam.
Mm-hmm.
The Arabs were just individual, see and destroy. And that was in relation to water, women and song, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, then and now is different. Existing then as a woman is different from existing now in England. There are some places where the fear of crime is high and women don't go out at night. There are some places where women are sitting on the road corner at night talking because they don't have that fear of crime.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
All right, let's jump back into it.
So more.
A bigger
I'm not
hiding
saying.
from her than those guys the other day.
I'm not saying it's. Yeah, you're going red, my friend. Listen, I'm not saying it's less or more. Yeah, I'm not saying it's more intense or less intense. I'm just saying it's different. Would you agree with that? Most studies that I've looked at.
I don't believe in just two genders
Well,
or
look.
sexes.
Most studies that I've looked at, have shown that men have more of an instant impulse, whereas women are more slow burners, if you like. So
I think that has to do more with some socialization that's happening, especially today.
No, I don't think so. I think generally speaking, women are more slow burners when it comes to sexual activity, whereas men are more instantly activated.
I think we want to say that, and that's why we don't have a positive word to discuss women who like to have sex with multiple partners or lots of sex with one partner.
We have that. We have those words.
But Mohammed, you do not have any room to manoeuvre here.
In English, I'm
it's
talking
in your religion.
Polygamy.
It's in your creed. You can't change it.
No.
Yeah,
polygamy.
It's not for a man. Polygyny is for a man.
No.
Yes. Polygyny is for a man, right? Yes. Get the dictionary. Polygamy is for men and women, both of them.
Yeah, I'm talking more about polyamory.
Yeah, that polyandry as well. That's for women specifically.
No. Polyandry is for women to have multiple husbands.
Yes. So
I'm
there is a word.
polyamory.
What's that?
Polyamory is literally polyamory, the love for more than one person.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Sounds good.
So no, but
Check it
so
out.
we do have the word there. What's the problem?
No, I'm not talking about the concept of being able to do that. I'm saying, what do you call a woman in the most positive way possible who enjoys having sex a lot?
There's only one word, and it's a terrible word. So I'm not going to repeat it.
No.
And what do you call a man who likes to have lots of sex?
That's going to be a positive word.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There is a
Look,
word.
look. Let me tell you something.
Wait,
Islamically,
but you didn't tell me.
I don't know. In English,
Yeah, in English.
I don't know.
I don't know if you
Usually
have those
it's
words
negative.
in
He's
Arabic.
smiling. I think he knows.
No, look.
I think there is fundamental differences in it between women and men, like scientifically. So surely that is going to spill into socially as well, and socially as you live your life, the ways you live your life. So we can't just say men and women are equal, so everything that one does, the other one should do. I think that's not the way.
Equal. Him.
Yeah, well, her argument, she's saying she's a feminist. She doesn't believe in genders. So basically what she's saying is that men and women are the same. If you don't believe in genders...
She's saying the behaviours are the same. I don't think she's inferring they're the same, but with regard to...
No, but she did earlier, innit? That's why she was talking about pronouns and stuff. So earlier she said that she doesn't believe in genders.
Yeah, so she's established that fact.
Yes.
But in this instance, she's saying, he's saying men have a greater libido and women tend to be this, and she's saying, who tell you that?
Yeah.
Simple thing. Who tell you that? Where does he get his thinking from that women are passive? And she's
100%. That's a cultural thing then. Yeah.
Societal. But the reality in a different society, like in Jamaica, the Jamaican woman and the Jamaican woman approach to sex is not like English women.
Yeah, different.
Different societies deal with it on a different thing. The whole perception of sex and sexual encounter is different.
So you reckon it's regional? Like, just how you perceive sex is just different to basically your cultural upbringing?
Yeah, because in the old days, everything in England was about protecting the woman from, puddles and this and makeup and everything. Shoot, can't play sports, can't do this.
I don't think it's even so much that. I think it was protecting your bloodline. So I think that's the main thing, yeah. So if you know that, like, if you're come from a place that wants to protect your bloodline, if a man goes and sleeps with 10 women, realistically, or he has 10 one-night stands or whatever, he's gonna... If he gets one of them women pregnant, he should know about it, and if he has a one-night stand and gets one pregnant, then he should know. Like, if the woman ever comes up to him, that's my child, then I know that's my child. So it's easier. Whereas I think back in the day, obviously with women, if a woman's sleeping with 10 different men, it's harder to determine that. So I think it's blood, really. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, depending which side of the coin you're living on, though, because, like I said, black people didn't really have a lot of choice in these things for a while. Whereas everybody else was free to choose and live happy and merry. So yeah, amongst us. But in terms of this discussion, like I said, are men and women different when it comes to certain things? I don't believe they are physically they're different. But there are women who there was a hostel for girls who just were permanently like in that condition. They're just in a maternal state all the time. Anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Just yeah.
So I know that thing is real already, and men and the prominence of men. That every man go and like them as some Mac Daddy. You understand? From time, men are this, men are that. You never been on a gym, never been in a gym, never been on an athletics course, and you're telling me that you're a goddamn Hussein Bolt in bed. I don't think so, bro.
Yeah,
you understand?
we all know
There's
them
no
ones,
man who sings that, and whether they're Muslim, Christian, or otherwise, man and the ego. So what I see at play there is the ego,
his ego
versus the woman.
Yeah,
because he's got no evidence beyond vague discussions with his mates and his family to substantiate anything he's saying. He wants you to believe that he's a big cheese in bed. Okay, do we really care? You understand? Men have got more this and that than women. You don't even know if you have more than the next man, never mind a woman.
Come on, let's go.
No, look, I'm not disagreeing with you on this.
Sure.
This is a point of agreement. I think there's not a point of disagreement. I agree that when women do it and whatever men do, that's the point of agreement. It's not a disagreement. What I'm gonna say to you is that, generally speaking, things like polygamy, the hijab, all of those things are in a sentence explained by the fact that there are differences.
He's going to say it's your genetics, basically. That's it.
But there are differences, but like, so what?
Okay.
Why would that?
That's exactly the argument of the feminists.
Why would that relegate a woman to have to cover her entire body?
Let me ask
or
you then.
cover her
Good.
face?
Good.
Why?
Let me ask you a question. Why are we?
It's the same argument that people give for women who
that's
like,
a very,
what are you wearing?
No, that's very good. Yeah. Now we're going somewhere. So you're saying there are differences, but we should disregard the differences.
Not disregard them. But
So what should we do? What should we do with the differences? How should we account them?
It's the same way that I think that what a woman wears in the street should not determine whether she's rapeable or not. We should be, or my father wanted to keep me in the house when I was young because he was so afraid that I would be assaulted. And instead, he should have been out on the streets talking to the young men who might want to assault me. Yeah. He should be speaking to those men. The men should be speaking.
Valid case to me. You understand? Why talk to the victims? Talk to the perpetrators.
But the thing is, and you are right, do both. Like, just do both, innit? Because you can say talk to the perpetrators, but how do you know someone's a perpetrator until they're perpetrated? Like, it's like, oh, so I'm going to talk to all the rapists. One, rapists have got something wrong with their minds. They're twisted. It's not like just something that they're going, one day I'm going to rape someone. It's a power control. So more than likely, there's going to be an increase in how to do that and if they're going to do it. So it's not like you can just go to these people and talk to them and say, you shouldn't rape women. Women shouldn't do this. That don't work with people with mental health issues.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of
that's extreme, right?
No, it's
let's say
that's not an extreme. Most rapists have got mental
health.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? No.
Yeah, most rapists are men.
100%.
Most men don't have mental health. They rape somebody.
No, but look at the percent. No, but what I'm saying to you is look at the percentage of population of people who rape. So most men, most men don't rape people, and I would suggest the numbers say, yeah. It's very small proportion of the male population that rape people, right. And not all of them are from mental.
This country.
Okay.
Right. Whereas, like I says, in a third world country, Jamaica, I think, what time is it dark in Jamaica?
What now?
Anytime, forever. 5, 6 o'clock. It's night in Jamaica. You got long nights, nothing going on, rural living, house. Rape is
just okay.
To the point where it happens and they don't talk about it and the effects of it, but it's endemic in the South from slavery till now.
Until now.
You understand? But in UK, whereas you look at the issues in Leeds where the young girls are getting groomed and they go to the police and the police run them. We're led to believe that things work certain way here, but does it really? They have big charities and banners, rape refuges and rape crisis centre and thing, but why did the girls in Leeds get groomed for years, for more than 2 generations?
Yeah, but that's a different like argument, because what I'm trying to say is that within this country. And I think you are right when you're talking about regional, because again, it comes down to how you view sex and how you view yourself in it, like your quality of life, I guess. But what I'm talking about in this country, most men do not rape women. Like, that's, I would put my hat on that. That's a stat somewhere, and it's a very small proportion that do. And of them, not all is mental health, because you do just get some sick people who want control and abuse and just do things. But some of them is going to be that as well. So whatever the reason, yeah, you speak to those people. Of course, you speak to them, you try and educate them. But while you're doing that, you should also be saying, yo, don't provoke, or not provoke, 'cause that's the wrong word. I'm saying you have to do both, and teach them to protect themselves and be aware of what they're doing, and have some, again, you can't blame the victim, so I'm not saying accountability. But all I'm trying to say is you have to teach both, and you have to teach them to be aware of the surroundings and the situations they're really in, and then you have to teach them, man.
Women are already aware of, you know, the implications of them making a wrong move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're very aware. All that they do from the time they're born till they die is be aware of if they make a wrong move,
something will happen. Yeah.
You know, any woman, anytime, they already know that. And you're right.
Yeah,
most men behave appropriately. Most men. And like I says, where and when these things tend to happen, there's certain conditions. But knowledge, like I says, being, you know, this debate is not about the instances of rape. He's talking about the libido of the male compared to the libido of the woman. And the woman saying, well, everybody's the same. You don't really know. You can't measure all the women. You can't measure all the men.
Yeah.
You know, so it's safe to assume that everybody's the same, because all her friends are probably horny, on the thing hard, you get me? Who knows? There are women who do it for a living, they love it, as I say. But in his world, Islamic world, I'm assuming he's memorized Quran, he ain't been on road. Went to uni, that was the closest to road that he got. You know, he's an academic, and he's also misogynistic, because his viewpoint, yeah, men got more this, that, and then women. I seen strong women who can knock plenty men out, can do anything they want to.
But they're outliers and they're anomalies. But we're talking generalizations here when we talk about things like this, and that's my point. It's kind of, I do understand in saying, why do women have to do this? You should just speak to men. No, I should speak to men and like make sure that, you know, my kids or whoever, they know what they're doing. But also, that's like me saying to my daughter, like, just go out and leave the house as you want. Like, if I see something that I know in this world we live in, because that's the other thing people negate from the fact that we do live in a world where there are vicious, sick people. It's not like everyone's honky-dory and everyone's just going to go, yeah, just because you say it, I'm going to do what you're saying.
Vicious, sick people. Honky-dory is the illusion, bro.
That's what I'm saying. All right, let's see what they're saying.
Speaking to other men, it shouldn't be about keeping women in the house and keeping them covered while they walk
No
the
problem.
streets.
I'm asking a simple question.
Listening to me?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
I got that argument. I understand it. What I'm asking you is, we agree that there are differences. There are two ways with dealing with this.
Yeah, but I
We
think
can
we
either-
disagree about those differences.
We either accept those differences and account for them, or disregard those differences. What should we do?
Well, there's a mid ground. I don't think you can.
What's
say-
the middle ground? Tell me what the middle ground is.
I don't know. I just feel like if we're smart enough to be able to develop books and laws that are gonna dictate how we live our lives, we can develop something that doesn't say that women have to behave a certain way in order to stop themselves from being raped.
But Christina,
Back to freedom of expression.
But Christina, you see, the question I'm asking you is very profound. And you know, it's actually the building. Look, I want you to understand something, right? Before we can't build castles on thin air, okay? Arguments are
We
like,
can build them on sand, though.
right, yeah, no, it will be weak foundations.
I'm from the beach, though, but I've seen castles built on sand.
No, what I'm saying, maybe they're sand castles. What I'm talking about here is, if we want to have a coherent, logical understanding of why we're doing certain things, we have to actually have a foundation, which is quite solid and firm. So here, as we can see here, we've identified that there are differences between men and women. Now we've seen that there are two ways of dealing with those things. In a nutshell, you can either account for those differences or disregard those differences. Now I'm asking you, What should we do?
Well, the thing
And
is,
why?
Because,
And why as well?
Because I don't agree that it's about differences. What I believe is that men have an ego problem,
Okay.
and they have a jealousy problem, and they view women as
Why is that a problem?
And they view women as their property.
Okay,
And
maybe
so,
that's.
not only do they not want to see, I think it's just about them not wanting to have their property violated by another man.
Okay,
that's what I think.
that stuff I agree with.
It
No
has
problem.
nothing to do with protecting women.
Me and you agree with the same thing. All right, no problem. We all agree with that.
You agree?
Yeah.
That
We have
men
that
an
issues.
ego
Yes,
problem,
yes.
and they walk
Definitely.
around doing
100%.
He's
dick
saying,
competition.
He's
Yes.
definitely saying something differently to you.
Yeah, I'm.
He's talking about genetic differences as well, and you can't exclude that.
What I'm saying is, what should we do with biological, psychological, and physiological differences? Should we take them into consideration, or should we disregard them?
No, we should take them into consideration.
Okay,
but that doesn't
perfect.
mean
How?
that women
How?
would
How?
have to dress in a particular way.
why are you
because
dictating that?
men can't control them.
So how do we dictate?
We
I
don't.
don't
we
know
should
if I
do?
want to dictate. I'm an anarchist. Like, I don't even like that label either. Like, I don't want
Yeah,
anybody
but you want total
dictating
freedom of
anything
expression,
to
don't you?
me.
You want to wear what you want, don't you? Do you want a man to dictate what you wear?
The thing is, I
Yes
have
or
to
no?
change the way that I dress because I don't want that kind of attention, and I don't want to live in a world where I have to wear a hijab or a burqa or sweatpants
No problem, no problem. I'm not telling you to do that, by the way.
to avoid harassment by men.
No problem. But you live in a world. Let me put it in a very straightforward parable for you, right? We live in a world.
Flashbacks. Oh shit. Okay.
He got attacked, right, last Sunday.
I gotta say last Sunday.
Oh, that was just last Sunday.
Okay,
I
perfect.
missed it, but
He provoked that attack. We're going to go in there.
With this.
He said he was going to apologise.
I provoked it with this.
you were wearing this.
No, I put it on when I saw that they all want to attack me.
It's his
Why did they
fault.
want to
It's
attack
entirely
you?
his-
I'll come to that after. We'll talk about it afterwards, yeah? Let's go back to our discussion.
He
The point.
threatens people. I'd
Listen,
think.
listen.
Go on.
Go back to our discussion. Our discussion is.
But wait, but you agreed with me that
What?
the reason that we feel like women are supposed to be treated a certain way is because men can't control their egos and their jealousy, and they feel that women are their property.
Do you know what? Okay.
But he's saying it's genetic.
Right. Wait, there's a presupposition in what you're.
that genetically men
what he's saying.
feel jealous.
All
No,
those things.
look. There's
possessive.
There's a presupposition in what you're saying,
Which is
that you define them as problems. You could define them as either.
street harassment is a problem.
Just 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes.
Don't worry, I gotta go too.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Let me finish this. A presupposition is the
He's
way.
the political wing over there.
But you see,
I
this.
saw his videos. I don't
Yeah.
know about all that.
Look, listen for a second. There's a presupposition, and it's the same one that de Beauvoir uses. Yeah, she in her chapter of biology she talks about how men are possessive and these things.
Simone de Beauvoir, aren't you?
Yeah, no, because she's mainstream, so I like to. I'm
You
not
don't
gonna.
talk about Sartre much, though, do you?
But read some
I know,
black
Sartre is
feminists,
pretty
some
anti-ism.
womanists.
I have
have a
I
different
have read some black
For who?
feminists, like Ngoni, what's her name? Ngoza, whatever her name is. She
Yeah.
wrote some little books.
Yeah, but she writes fiction. I'm talking. Oh no,
No,
why
she doesn't.
everyone should
Come
be
here.
a
She wrote
feminist.
Why
the
everyone should
Feminist
be a
Manifesto,
feminist.
why everyone should be a feminist, whatever. Anyways, look, going back.
She's very mainstream too. Like,
Okay, I've looked at her stuff. She's more. I would say she's more fair. Yeah.
Read Bell Hooks.
No, not yet.
Audre Lorde.
Who?
Audre Lorde.
I've come across some of her stuff, but I haven't read her books yet. But I'll put it in my reading list. Look, yeah. What I was gonna say is that look,
Converting you.
the
I
point.
think you're giving Darwin.
Listen,
Feminist Darwin.
no, I'm open, yeah, to a reading.
He's not.
To reading, not to
Well,
conversion.
to reading.
Yeah,
No, there's a
reading.
lot of reading
Yeah, yeah.
besides his one book. I know people who are just like, that's my book, all I need. So
Yeah.
you're not that person.
Yeah, all right. Oh, thank you for that.
I think he
So I was saying to you, look,
We'll come to that.
the
another day.
presupposition is how men is, yeah, should be disregarded, or should be seen as negative, or should be, or is the problem of men. Okay, so it's a problem for us.
It's really the problem of women. It's men.
So now, but how do we solve this problem? We've got men, let's say, that are, have certain traits that are differentiated from women. That we want to do this and we want to do that. We're more polygamous
We're
with this, we're that.
intellectual beings,
We're more
so-
aggressive. 99.9% of people in prison are men. Whatever, yeah. All of those
Yeah,
things.
but that's
But
a
he
system
wants
that puts men
doctrine.
in
So, what do we do with that?
Doctrine solves that.
How do we prescribe? What do we?
would not agree with that at all.
What I'm saying is, what is the solution? What is your solution for it? Have you got a solution for it?
Education.
for how
Education.
men wouldn't assault women.
Education, right?
Like-
Education, it has to be that. To teach children to treat women with respect and for men to
Okay.
be treated with respect.
Let's
That
say
is the
education
answer.
is a good thing, and
It's
we
a
agree with it.
definite.
What kind
No
of
problem.
education? Yeah.
No, let's do education.
I mean-
But what I'm saying is this: if you're saying that women will be exploited by men, And let's
we
be,
are peaceful.
yeah, no,
Are
sexually this
You're
is
not going to
whatever.
eradicate all of it.
No problem. Shouldn't women take precautions?
Yeah, but precautions doesn't mean that we should stay home.
I'm not saying
and
that.
Dress in a
I'm not. No,
specific
but I'm
way.
saying I'm not. What I'm
So I think, honestly, when I've seen this video, I wondered who I'd agree with more. I didn't know. But it's funny because I actually do agree with him. We're not saying that you shouldn't do what you're saying, but because of the world we live in, protect yourself, innit?
I'll be honest, mate. I think people protect themselves. They do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. Now, again, I don't have a problem if his wife chooses to go around all the time protected. If
Like talking about
piece of
hijab,
material is going to protect her. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that, but
is it
believe
really
that
going to even protect her?
every woman should choose. You know, there shouldn't be a blanket policy about it. Like
Yeah, I agree. I
you see
100%
Iran
agree with
and
that.
all these things. So if a woman reads and understands and believes that this is her obligation, then, you know, who am I to comment on it? But where you have people advocating and campaigning about, she should protect herself, you know.
That's different. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Like I said, this is not Arabia back in the day. This is England 2022.
I think when you talk, I do see. This is the thing. I feel like when we're taking it to, again, the extremes of wearing a hijab 24/7. Yeah, I'm not even talking about that though. I'm just talking about like Western. So yeah, I agree with you 100% there. If that protection means that you don't feel your woman can drive alone in a car, or has to wear a hijab, or can't have a phone, or do you know what I mean, can't basically leave the house, or even when people come to your yard, they can't even serve them tea or be in the room with them, then yeah, definitely that's a massive overstep, and that is oppressive.
And some of that is cultural. It's got nothing to do with Islam. Traditionally, I would say if a man enters into a mixed marriage, he'll more likely go over. It's not the wife that becomes a ninja.
Yeah.
You know, he will accept this and accept that because of his situation. But if he stays within his community, then he's got all these from back in their little village in India. You understand? Their muftis come from, and they bring their ideas into the masjids that they come to work in because they've memorized Qurans. They teach that to kids here who don't come from that little village thing. That society does not exist here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You know, whereas if we were talking about in the dark in Jamaica,
Yeah, you'd be like, okay, I get it.
you know, where people are
Get
walking
that
around in
CS gas.
swimsuits and everything, and they're still not getting pulled down. So
Yeah,
it's a bit extreme to me. It's a bit extreme, you know. We need to move
guess-
past these stupid things. This is 2023. If you want to look back at your wife, look back at your business, bro. But like I said, to me, in Gambia, there are things cover your head. Do this, do that.
That's different as well.
That's what I'm saying. So when the time comes, but if you want your wife to walk around head to toe, and you feel that that's protecting them, because really, a man wants
He can
he
run
sees
up
you
on
and
her.
her walking over there, he goes around there, waits with his baseball bats, gives it you, does what he wants. Who cares what's in the bag? He knows it's a woman. You know what I'm saying? How does it protect?
I'm saying is this: what precautions have proved to be more successful?
I don't think wearing those clothes has been very successful.
No, but let me ask you a question.
I go out in the street with baggy
No.
jeans and whatever, and like
No.
it doesn't fucking matter.
But let me once again, right? Precautions which prevent.
And as I said, was education, and you're saying education. I'm
It's
talking
100%
about.
Okay.
education.
I'm talking.
So
like, we're
would you agree?
intellectual beings.
Do you
Don't
agree,
you think men can
Christi-
say? And you know, inherently, biologically, I really just want to ravage a woman when I see her. But you know what? I won't do that because it's wrong.
No,
I mean,
can I interject
this is your freedom of speech to be who you are as a man biologically, but actually you cannot infringe upon my rights to be a woman. And we're different.
Yeah, I get it. But so just one
Muslims
point.
have actually asked me. They've said, why don't I rape? If I'm not religious, if I have no morals, I'm an atheist. Why don't I rape? It's a very interesting thing. Yeah, they asked me that, as if I have no innate morality, which I do.
If you do, you got to ask where it came from. All right. So if
evolution, my friend. But we'll have that discussion another time.
Evolution. That's a different case. All right. So in a nutshell, in one word, we will say that one measure which forces men not to look at women.
No.
Hold on. It does. A certain. If we're saying that you don't want men to look at you as commodities or objectify you, right? One measure that forces that is privatization of the ornaments of women. It forces that. You can't feast on or exploit that which you can't see.
I saw women wearing.
You see what I'm saying?
Wearing jalabas that really showed their beautiful
Yeah, a lot of Muslims don't like that.
Anyways.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Mohammed, pleasure.
I don't.
Mohammed,
You're right.
Again, I'm not really sure what that was about, bro. Just seemed to be a pointless
conversation. Yeah, they didn't really get to the depths of it because really what I wanted to know were in the Quran, what differentiates, like why do Muslims get such kickback on that being one of the probably the most misunderstood, or I don't know if it is misunderstood about how they treat women in Islam. And that's not one aspect of it. The hijab, again, the Western world, look at the hijab.
Islam is Arabian.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that comes with it is coming from somewhere else. And it's imported wholesale. It's not diluted before it gets here.
Mm-hmm.
So over the course of time, it will embed because the people become assimilated. Asian people will become English people. Rishi's running the country now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Over the course of time. So the scholars will think about the effect of it. But in real terms, I always say when people cross into another community, they've already crossed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not to bring them over into your community. You know, once you cross over, that's it. So the guy may marry an English girl and may put her in hijab and everything, but it doesn't really have the same effect, and he probably won't have the same desire he had for when she was just in her civvies, like, you know, for whatever reason they fell in love in the first place. So yeah, in Iran and wherever, women don't want it. There's visible on TV. I understand men, when you go to church and you pull up and you see them sisters coming out looking heavenly blessed. Yeah, I'm at the right time and place. So I saw me say there's a time and place for everything. With the hijab, if you don't want someone to see you, then put it on. But if you don't mind being seen because you're just human like everybody else, you know. But if you talk about starting psychosis in someone, how everybody's looking at you, who is that everybody's looking at? Which woman is that everybody's looking at? Yeah. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what? It doesn't make sense.
And that same misogynistic thing comes right down to the house, from the battlefield to the house. The woman doesn't really have a lot to say. The women who do say a part of it, a part of the experience, they're in it. What they're gonna say? Yo, I want to be free. On Iran, women are saying they want to be free of some of the oppression. They're not saying get rid of Islam. They're saying get rid of these crazy geezers who are killing us because we didn't have our thing on properly. You know, the thought police. It's not Islam.
Is there a particular text in the Quran that people are misrepresenting to treat the women like that, and say this is what Muhammad said? Or if you read the Quran, you just get the full sense of that. Yeah, that's a load of bullshit.
Right. Let me say, there's the Quran, and then there's this thing named Sharia law.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think what's happening in Iran, they've made it a law. And then, let me say, the Quran purports to modesty for men and for women.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a verse that talk about the man lowering him gaze and the woman wearing a covering her things, certainly at prayer time and around them times and in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But it's no point to say no one can't come to your house and visit and all these. Yeah, the woman them have to make them scarce. That's how Arab women they do. The man them have them big eat, belch, fat, do everything, and the women bring the food and eat separately. You understand? Now everything's come wholesale to England. You know what I'm saying? Not some of it wholesale. You got people living that life in some rural stick, training up. When they get qualified, they come into the big city with it, bro. They don't know nothing about big city living. They bring in that like a rural stick preaching.
Yeah, man. All right, then. So we're no closer to really understanding what the Quran says about women in Islam. But Pops has broke it down basically. So yeah, man. All right, then. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Peace.
Peace out.